Let's take that split stance again. And now we're going to explore pronation of the foot. So we already know we want the arch to lower and we want the foot to lengthen and spread like a pancake. We also know we want the weight to go onto the inside and the front of the foot, and we want to keep our tripod down. So that's a lot of stuff. Let's go through it one at a time. So we're just going to do the same thing. You're going to bend your knee, and the first thing you're going to check is, does the arch lower and lengthen? You already have your answer from the pen test. If not, what we're going to try to do is bring the arch to the floor by twisting through the pelvis a little bit to encourage that. So I'll show you from the side view. If you bend your knee and then you start to twist your pelvis away from your front foot, so opening up, you should feel how that drives a bit more pressure onto the inside of your foot. And if you allow it to happen, your arch will lower closer to the floor. Okay, so pay attention to the weight traveling onto the inside of your foot and more forwards towards the ball of your foot. Just by twisting your pelvis, you should get a sense of this. And because the arch is lowering and lengthening, the muscles on the bottom of your foot are going to be spreading and stretching, loading. And that means that the joints on the bottom of your foot are also opening up and decompressing. So by twisting your pelvis, can you get a better sense of that? Now remember the conversation about the tripod that I can't emphasize enough. If you're twisting and your knee is going in like this, and you have now a lift of the outside edge of your foot, this is not pronation. This is just your foot dumping in and your knee going into a valgus or inwards orientation. That's not actually your foot pronating. It's only pronation if you can keep 3 points of contact. So check in when you do this twist and get your weight onto the inside and front of the foot. Does your foot or your knee go so far in order to pronate your foot that the outside edge lifts, you lose your tripod, and you no longer have a pronating foot? If that's the case for you, this is where we're going to use our socks, towels, and wedges as a strategy. So what I'd like you to try as a very nice general thing is to take your towel and put it under the first metatarsal, the inside of your forefoot. So I'll show you that up close. So I'm taking my towel and I'm just putting it like that. Just under these first 2 toes, like that. Show you from a different angle. Ta-da. And the intention of this is that towel under that first metatarsal is going to roll a bit more pressure towards the outside of your foot, so that now when you go back into this lunge, you can keep more contact with the outside edge of your foot. For some of you, this will be very helpful. For some of you, it might not make a big difference. So if it helps, take it. You might need more or less. So if that didn't do enough for you and you're still rolling off your foot, you might want to roll up that towel just to be a little thicker. Find your sweet spot where it feels like you have a comfortable tripod. And then go back into that lunge and rotate. And you'll feel like, you'll know it's a good position of the towel if it feels like it keeps your knee from going all the way inwards. Think of it like a corridor where your foot is the corridor and your knee is not allowed to leave the corridor to the outside or to the inside. Think of aiming your knee towards the inner tip of your big toe, and that's as far in as it goes. Then twist your pelvis until it feels like it's bringing as much arch lowering and pressure on the inside of the foot as possible. Hopefully you now have a better sense of your outside of your foot on the floor of the tripod. We're going to go in and out of this 3 more times. So if you're truly getting it now and your foot's lengthening and spreading, You should also start to feel, because your knee is bending, that your quad is starting to work. Remember, when we did our check-in earlier, when the knee bends, the foot pronates. The pressures for going forwards on the foot and inside on the foot, when we did an anterior tilt and the knee bent, that coupled with foot pronation. Let's do one more on this side. Bend the knee, get your weight on your foot. Try to feel that you have more weight on your front foot than your back foot now. Twist your pelvis. Make sure your knee's not going out of the foot corridor. 3 points of contact. Foot's getting longer. And let's take a break there.